2.
All right.
All right. We are live. Catherine and Eric Spitfire Wilkinson. Welcome to both of you. How are you two, my
Thanks
friends?
for having us.
Right.
We're good.
This is
I
it's an
think.
interesting day. It's this is gonna be a little wild conversation here, I would say. Whoa, what was that? All right. People already jumping in here. All right, that's cool. So
It was
Catherine,
close.
it's a ghost. They've already
Ghost
started.
in the
Usually
machine.
they give us about 10 or 20 minutes before they come in and ruin everything. That's all
Well,
right.
they're
We're starting
excited.
early tonight. I guess so. I'd be excited too. I would be if I was someone who thought this case should completely go away and nobody should talk about it. I would be pretty excited too because that sounds like Catherine. That's where you're basically headed. Is you're kind of done with this case, kind of fed up with it. It sounds like. Hey, Rick.
Well, well, hey, Rick, how are ya? You should join too,
Crip
dude.
Rick.
Yeah, you're
Um,
welcome to join if you want.
it's it's not so much that I'm tired of the case, but it's that I'm tired of the fact that okay, what's made me so frustrated is that we have proof. David, if that is David, because you and I we've discussed this, and I'm like you said, I'm kind of like 50-50. Is it David? Could be, could not be. But it doesn't matter. Whoever we've proven with the evidence that David didn't do this to his family and then decide to take himself out. And now with everything we keep finding and we get nowhere, the government doesn't care, the local city doesn't care, their local news which tore him apart doesn't, nobody cares. You present them with the facts and even the family, after we talked to the what is it, the sister-in-law, whoever I forget her, how she works, her sister's married to one of
Yes.
David's uncles. But it's
Yes.
like, she's even telling us the family doesn't care and they want it kept, under wraps. They don't want the truth to come out. And it's like, why are we beating our heads against a brick wall? He didn't do it. We have proof he didn't do it. And then when we're looking at everything else and when things just stop adding up, like, what kind of led me to one, I guess, the final nail in the coffin, which I know I've had lots of final nails in the coffin, but, looking at the blood stains on the clothes and then trying to figure out what the hell is that all about? Why would that even be different? If they're the same clothes, why are not the blood stains matching up? I don't know what to do anymore. It's like, what can we do? What do you guys think we can do?
Well, I think it's very important to keep talking about it and to just to go wherever the facts lead us. Whether David faked his death or whether he's in some witness protection program, it still proves that he's not guilty either way. So
Right.
for me, it's
1,000 or 2,000 facts later, we're still here.
Right?
How many do we need?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point. Because if you remember, I used to do the inconsistency list and I got to 100 and I stopped because it was ridiculous. We could easily add more to that list. No case should have 100 inconsistencies, but yet this does, and then some.
Well, let's talk about one of those while we're here,
Mhm.
because you had mentioned a few of them here. One I really don't agree with you on, but one is very interesting to me, and they both relate to David Crowley. The line on the sweatpants here. This is the first thing that I remember Catherine brought, and I know she's brought up a lot of things, and I really hope that she stays on to at least do a comparison video or some type of video to really go over this down before you
Okay, I'll
decide
do
to
that.
leave
Yeah.
us. But then when you compare that to this, and I don't know if this program will allow me to, it probably won't allow me to flip it where I'm in here, but this side here, I don't know. To me, it looks, I don't know, because I can't see this upper part. Oh, my cursor is actually working. Where my cursor is, because of that part there, I don't know if that is white or if that is like the rest of the part bloody here. comparing it again, going back to where you see this upper part, this could be clean. So to me, it's possible that those two match.
And yeah, that no, okay. This
To
is
me, to me,
yeah. And would I be able to like
yes,
share
yes,
my video?
yes.
Okay,
Please do, please do.
let me make sure I have, because I brought those photos up in case you
Good.
wanted to discuss them.
Good,
So
good,
let me
good.
do
And
where's
while you're doing that, the thing that really is tripping me out though is David's boxers,
yes.
because you look at the boxers here
Mm-hmm.
in this photo, and then Catherine was like, "Well, compare them to the boxers that
Yeah.
are here," and I don't know. It's like, okay, I don't know. There may be. I don't know if there is enough blood on this left side here that we're looking at to
I'll
match.
show you as soon as I can pull it up and
Okay.
I can direct it.
Oh, it's not sharing it. That's probably why nobody's
Oh,
seeing it.
there we go.
Yeah. So to match this, so when you look at the left side of this image here of the boxers, they are showing, right? Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you compare it to the left side of the boxers in this shot. I think that's interesting to me. I don't know. Looking at it now, I don't know. It's not conclusive to me. I guess is all that I can say. But I just learned about this from Catherine last night, and I was looking at it on my cell phone, and that was not helpful.
It's hard when you're trying to. Let me do a share screen.
Okay. I think there's like 3 dots next to your photo, and if you click on that, it'll allow you to share screen, I believe. Eric knows more.
I'm going to do the entire screen if that's okay, because
yeah,
that way I
absolutely.
can keep pulling it up now. Let me. Okay, I'm getting it. Okay. You guys,
Let me take this off here.
Are you seeing? Are you seeing David's body on the floor?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, let's go. And then let me get the pants. And then I have the pants on top of that as well. Okay, hold on. And I turned it sideways.
And top of the line, let's add this top of the line equipment at that point with the people who are taking these pictures. I'm sure they weren't using some Nikon cameras, and it's blurry, right? I mean, it's crazy.
Well, I mean, these are not very good photos. Yeah, I mean, yeah,
whoever, be a little more high definition for a crime scene than that.
Right. Well,
this is from a PDF. Yeah.
And this one was altered as well. It was altered before we got a hold of it. You can run it through. I have a program, and it shows you every single point where it has been changed, either by copying and pasting or blurring things. This entire photo has been doctored. But
you mean do you think we don't
photo?
We don't know the source of this photo.
Been doctored.
We really don't know if this is a real photo. Would you agree with that?
Okay. I thought maybe these were, officially released by the Apple Valley.
We didn't get them. We got them from Tony, correct? Is that right? Is that who we got this from?
Yes, but we don't know if this is real. We've never been they've never verified it. The authority, at least from my view, they've never verified that this is a real photo. It's one thing we asked. They haven't answered so far.
Yeah, and they're not about to. They're not going to tell us anything because
right.
It's wrong. Okay, now let's go back to this photo right here. Oops, hold on. We're going to the stripe on the pants. Now I don't care about this section right here because you're correct. We can't see that in the other photograph. I want to focus on this area right here. And if you're look at the pattern of the way this stain is right there, and then the way these stains are right there. Now let's look at that, because it's roughly right around where the knee area would be, which would be like this area right here. Right here. Now you mean to tell me that's the same? Look at that. Very carefully, this whole entire area right here, which would be this area, like right here. You think that's the same? No, not at all. Not even close. Then this section right here. This area right here. This goes right here is the crook of the arm. And you have this massively clean, well, relatively clean spot. Now let's compare to his sweatshirt over here. They'll go, oh, look, underneath the armpit, it's kind of clean. Look at how that pattern is left right there. Compare it with this right here. Does that look the same to you? No, not at all. This comes like in a little V. I don't see any V's over here. And then and the part that and then of course with David's shorts, his boxer shorts, we can see the beginning of the pattern right here of the Izod or whatever his brand of shorts are. And, you know, I'm with Greg. Maybe that's the same. Maybe it's not. Maybe we don't have a good enough look at that. But I would think that this area and this blood here would have been showing. But that, okay, I'll give you maybe, maybe not. And same with Kamel's, quote unquote Kamel. I don't believe this is her on the floor at all. You see how the corset does this little kind of like a mini wave at the bottom? And you see the blood here?
Mm-hmm.
Now we look at, let me get her corset up here. Right there. And let me turn it. Oh, wrong way. And I don't see a wave pattern at all. This looks straight to me. And where's the blood? Oh, shoot. Sorry. It's very plain here, these dots, but we don't see it over here. It's missing. So these are just some of the things that I was picking up on. And I'm like, and again, I'm not looking at the colors because these photos also were altered. They ran them through a color filter, and why they did that, heaven only knows. And this is either the other group or Tony Floyd ran these photos through a filter. So it's kind of frustrating that they did that. But let's go back to these pants. And this is what got me started on all of this. Again, it would be this area right here. Oops. Right here. And then we look at the pants, which would be roughly this area right here. Let me see if I can. Yeah, okay, that's as much as I can change it. And it's not even close. It's not close. So
Don't know. I don't know what to think.
I
really
know
don't.
either. And that's what's so frustrating. And what I'm trying to figure out, it's like, okay, I don't know if these are duplicate clothes, which I would really think that would be taking things a bit too far. But the blood stains on the white part, that would be way too hard to, I don't know, to mimic. And then plus, you know, to add stuff on that maybe like on the sleeve, let's play devil's advocate. Maybe the sleeve, when they put his arms down close to his body, maybe the blood from the shirt then got on that part of the shirt. Fine, but it doesn't explain the other things. Doesn't explain the blood missing from the corset, doesn't explain the blood missing from the undies, but that could be explained. It definitely doesn't explain the pants. So why? And I'm trying to figure out why alter everything. You know, her tattoos. Rick wanted to see the tattoos. Do you have the picture of Kamel when she was laying down and had her sunglasses on? I don't know if she was reading. She had a bikini top on and part of her tattoo was showing. And then I don't know if we want to bring out the pictures of the body in the morgue though. But that is as plain as day. Those tattoos don't match for anything. And then I measured David's tattoo on his arm, the one that had the circle, and then I don't know what writing that was. It's not the same either. The one on David's arm before he died, right? We have a picture of that, and when it comes down and it curls, it comes to a very sharp point. It's very sharp at the very end. But the one on the body in the morgue, it's rounded. That's one difference. The other difference is there's a part where it almost looks, it kind of goes, and then it has a little weird thing at the top, and then that one doesn't match. Let me see if I can find the one when he was still alive. And
okay, it should be in the BCA. I was just looking in the BCA photos because it's like we don't have any photos of David, of even just the bottom half or anything of him, right? The only photo that we have of him on the ground where you can see those sweats would be this photo that we don't know if that photo is real or not.
And that's a good point. That's a very valid point. I'm trying to see where. I know I did a comparison of that one tattoo, and now I can't find it.
I know.
Oh wait, there it is. I found it. Okay, I think I can share this. Let me, because it doesn't really show anything. So let me share this one. Present, share screen. Da, 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 da. Okay, it's going to get weird here. Okay, let me know when you see the tattoos.
Yeah, I see them.
Okay. This is what I'm talking about. This is David's real tattoo. See how sharp that comes out? It's not the same. This is rounded. This comes up to a very sharp point. Not the same freaking tattoo.
It's not the angle and the fact that the skin stretches or whatever happens after death.
No. And this, in this section here, right here, this is thicker. This here comes out more, down and in more. This is not the same as this. I don't know. That could roughly be the same. This is different. This right here, this section right there is different. This is completely different. Look how long that is compared to that one. When I measured these, I actually measured them. And there's quite a bit of difference with that as well. But yeah, you look at that and again, sharp point, rounded point. This is narrow. This is wide. It's not the same tattoo. So trying to. And the one, I don't know if I have Kamel's. Let me see if I can find Kamel's because hers is really, really, really evident.
Yeah, I'm trying to find that one.
I know
I thought they were. I think they're in the BCA.
Those tattoos not matching were definitely evident.
I'm sorry.
Those tattoos not matching. I mean, that was very evident.
Yeah, they don't match, and
they look the same to me. They look the same to me.
At the bottom.
I'm just saying to me. To me, they do.
They did.
You have a round one and a very thin pointed end. How is that the same?
It's just one of them just kind of looks stretched out a little bit, but
the arms.
Follow my finger, sir. Don't move your head, just your eyes.
Okay, I'm trying to find.
I could do that for at least 2 more hours. I'll be all right. I thought that was in the 485. I know it's here somewhere. Well, it's in the journal too, right? But I know it's in one of the big PDFs. I know it is.
Gosh, it's been so long. Oh wait, here it is. I found it. Okay, I found it. Yay! Let me share. Hold on. Now, Kamel's. Wait till you see Kamel's. Eric's got to see this one.
Eric, follow me.
I know, right? Follow us, Eric. Get out there. Oh, where did it go? Oh, darn it. Where are you? Oh, there it is.
I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat too, everyone that I miss. Thank you all for being here. Please feel free to chime in. I'll try to post it up. I'm just not putting any comments up right now because Catherine's sharing. That's all.
And here we go. Starting here. Look at this one on this side. This one comes way down. Way down. And this one here is very short and then comes over, kind of like a pi signal. I don't know what their language says here, and I have no idea, but or a written out division sign. If you think about it that way, that is not it right here at all.
It's the same spot though. It looks like a leg or something. That's not her leg.
This is her side.
That's her side.
This is the side. Yes, this is this area right here, or where that area would be. And this one is kind of similar to this, but then look at this design right here. We have this design, an S, and this looks like an E. Not the same. That one. This one. Nope. You see how it kind of comes here and then swirls out? This here is very tight. And then this one and comes around. But this one here, this is what is completely different. You look here, and heaven only knows what that is. But over here, it's got some very distinct straight, like sharp edges. And then it comes down. That does not match that. I don't care what anybody says. That, nope, not the same. And the body is not distended enough for anybody to say that, oh, maybe it's due to distension of the abdomen. No, her body is not that distended to cause this to turn into that.
What's the top part there? That big line
this
there.
Here,
yeah. What's that?
That's skin sloughing. That's what they call sloughing. It's the skin coming off the top layers.
Which side would be like? Which side is the front? Which side is the back of her?
Here's the front. This would be the back. This is her right side. But yeah. So. And Eric wasn't even there to see it.
Right. He's probably still trying to fix his mic.
Oh, right.
Okay. Did you see it?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I was following along.
Okay.
I think because Greg kind of lags for me sometimes. I turn that off and hoping, praying that it helps with that lag, but it doesn't.
Just blame me. Rain Girl says blood test for DNA dental records. I don't think so, right? There were no dental Well, I think they did say they did identify by dental.
There was a maxilla on, that was on the blanket on top of David, I think is what it was. So it had all of the teeth in the top row. But again, if you're covering up a crime and you have doctors, Dr. Maury was there for all three autopsies. And he marked David's. He wrote on David's autopsy, marked autolysis. He writes on Ranya's and on Kamel's autolysis. That man knows the difference between the two. So if he's going to write marked, aka advanced decomposition, cellular wise, not, the way that they were trying to describe it. So on a cellular level, up to 75% of his cells were now where they had destroyed themselves, right? Because that's what happens. It breaks down. The bacteria in your cells starts to eat it and you decompose. So, but with regular autolysis with Kamel and Rania, that's up to 25% of the cells have now the nuclei in the nucleus are destroyed. David's had up to 75%. He knew what he was doing. So for him to say that, to write that in his reports, and then to turn around and say he killed himself after he killed his family. No, dude, you can't have it both ways. It's like him trying to call the leg an arm and then want you to believe it. No, you already stated in your reports, you can't go back on that. Because he had to look at this under a microscope. So these are very purposeful, things that everything he wrote in there was purposeful. He took his time. It wasn't quick. So I'm like, okay, you knew darn well that David died first, but then you're going to turn around and then allow it to be written in the report that he killed his family and then waited a while before he decided to take himself out? No, the evidence proves it completely backwards. What does Rain Girl say? Forensics would get so much info from the scene. Have any results been released?
Do you have more pictures that I haven't seen?
I'm sorry?
Do you have more pictures that I haven't seen too?
I don't think so. I think
so.
I haven't seen that. That's the first I've seen of any that you showed me, other than the first one.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you've never seen the medical examiner photos?
I think that goes along with Rain Girl's kind of question. Because I'd like to see a little more.
Well, I guess we haven't really kind of put them out there just because some people, especially on YouTube, they get weird and then they take your videos down. So,
okay.
But there are more. Greg, do you have them on your site?
Yeah, I got them right here. I don't care. I'll show you.
I know about those weirdos. Yeah.
But and here's the thing with like the forensics for Rain Girl. We have like pages of DNA, right? They did lots of DNA testing. We have reports, and the reports show that David's blood is missing from the crime scene, with the exception of one small dot on the gun, some trace DNA that they found on the knife, and then a blood with fingerprints on the magazine. So his blood was on the magazine inside the gun, and they don't tell you how it got there. It doesn't get there from shooting yourself. I'll tell you that much. So that's it. Now, David's cell phone had Kamel's blood, and his cell phone had no DNA on it at all. And we didn't get a good enough picture to compare that tattoo. Otherwise, I would have loved to have.
Oh, this one here?
Yeah. So
why does this? This looks like a knee to me. I don't know.
No, the upper part, that's the abdomen. And then, and then down below is her back. That's her right side.
That's her right side there.
No, where the tattoo is, that's her side. The very top, it would be like if you're laying on your back, and then where your stomach would be.
Laying on your back. So this would be like her back.
Okay. The top part is the stomach. The bottom is her back. And then what's staring at you is her right side.
Okay. This looks really odd here.
Yeah, that would be the like the lower region of a female's like right above the pubic bone, right? Okay. If you go down, right about that area where it cuts off is right where her pubic bone is going to be. So they're cutting off, so you're not showing any of her private parts, but you go up, and then because we women kind of have that little pooch down at the bottom, so our belly can expand when we're pregnant, and that's kind of what that is. But she has a little bit of swelling, a little bit of distension in her abdomen here, but it's not enough to distort that tattoo, because you see the rest of these tattoo marks here, they're not distorted. So that's why I'm telling you, this part here at the top, it's completely different. This whole section at the top, and then the section over here, it's completely different. It's not the same tattoo. So I'm like, it's not freaking her.
Yep, I agree.
This is another one too. That's
And
in
on
some
this,
photos.
yeah, I compared this one with the other ones on his arm. However, due to the state of the decomposition and there is some swelling, I just couldn't make a decision whether or not this was the same tattoo or not. I couldn't tell. But the other one already told me it wasn't the same. So I don't know.
Hmm.
There's that. I think it's a. I want to. Not a Darth Vader. It looks like Darth Vader
It's
from
a
this, but
skull.
it's a skull on
Yeah,
his.
with the
It's
ace. He has like an ace of spades. I
yeah, and
have
that's
that one.
that's the same one you'll find in the David Crowley photos from when he was
Mhm.
serving. Right. That's from his service days. There's a
Yeah, we
big.
have a really good photo of that particular tattoo, but this arm right here, the lighting is so bad, and then with the skin sloughage and looks like the bruising, I couldn't get a good comparison. From what I could compare, it didn't match up at all.
This would be his right arm or his left.
His left, I think
His
it's
left.
his left bicep or right shoulder. Yeah.
Both bodies are kind of okay. There's another one. This is his back, right?
Mhm.
That's his neck right there. That's definitely the most gruesome one I think of all of these.
And this
And
one, this photo wasn't even taken correctly in the morgue. They should not have. Oh, this is again another reason why I'm like going, who are these? These are supposed to be professionals that have been doing this for years.
it's
These are
Minnesota.
they're medical doctors. They're medical examiners. How see? Look, oh damn it! They
They're
should have.
Minnesotans.
The way you take these photos correctly is you turn them over, you put their arms down to the side. So the back is like if you were laying on your stomach, right? With your arms down to your side. They have his left arm tucked under his body. So nothing is here. You can't look at whether or not it is distended. It doesn't look like he has much in the way of dissension going on at all. And the skin, yes, it's starting to slough, but it hasn't got to the point yet where it's distending.
Do you think they're just trying to rush this whole process? Get it done, take photos, boom, go home.
Yeah, I think they just rolled them over to say, hey, okay, we got a photo and let's throw them back over the other side. I mean, this is so sloppy. This work is sloppy.
Now, this is another pretty gruesome one. And this must be part of the head up there too.
Yeah.
At the what's left of it from whatever is left, not too much left of it.
Right.
Another shirt here. And there we go.
Yeah, see, there's the maxilla.
There's that big piece. I mean, what? None of this is mentioned in the police reports, really. This is pretty important stuff, I would think, here.
Yeah, and when you're looking at the different colors of the skull pieces there, the one with the darker red, that shows that there was hemorrhaging going on near those bones prior to death. You see the one's bright white and then that one, it looks all red. You can see that there was damage done to that head before the blood stopped circulating through the body. And then this one over here, this is the other one where we've talked so much about.
Oh,
you
yeah.
see the straight lines on the skin. I'm sorry, dogs can't rip off straight lines. And that's actually a fracture. Probably this. Oh, I'm pointing at the screen like you can see me. Go to the complete.
Okay, just tell me to go up. Tell me to go up, left.
No, okay, go to the very right of where that line is, all the way over, and then it's like that half circle. That is that little half circle there. Yeah, that's probably either the entrance wound or an exit wound. And then the linear fracture, that's due to the bullet going through the skull. But all of these dark areas on that, those are areas of hematoma. So there's bleeding going on that within that brain prior to death. And then you look at the skin and you see straight lines on that skin. That does not happen from it falling off. That does not happen from a dog chewing on it. There's only one way you can get a straight line when you're taking skin off of a human body, and that's by cutting it. That is not something that happens naturally.
So this little curve shape here, you think that's part of the bullet wound? Possibly?
It could be. I'm just saying it. I don't know because we don't have a good enough photo of it. I'm saying it could be because of how that linear fracture is coming
Mhm.
off of that area. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe that's where a dog chewed on that. I don't know. Again, the picture's not good, but
Sure.
just how the way that long fracture is, and it ends right at where that half circle is. That kind of makes me believe that's probably a bullet entrance or exit wound.
Would
Don't know.
that help you? Would that help you kind of guess maybe where he was shot, where the bullet entered or exited? Would that help with any of that?
I
Then?
think the way his autopsy describes it is that his entrance wound was behind his right ear. So it was probably about an inch or two behind his ear. And now David is a soldier. Why would he put it behind his ear?
Hmm.
And that makes zero sense. And then that, I don't know, that looks like it could be part of the parietal skull. I don't know. Again, it's hard to tell with what they have here.
Yeah. It's hard to tell whose, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Just looking at this, I mean, when you piece it together with the photos and where the body placements are, you can kind of start to piece some of
Yeah.
whose these might be.
And what they were saying too in the autopsy reports is that the bone fragments, the skull fragments they had, the majority of those skull fragments, they said articulated well with the remnant of David's skull. So the
Mm.
body that is quote unquote David, that most of those skull pieces articulated well with his. Now there was one that they didn't, so I don't know if that one actually belonged to him or was it part of Kamel's skull, quote unquote Kamel, which I don't think it's her, but yeah.
I want to get to some of these comments here before we get too far along. So we had Rain Girl. Sophia also joined us.
Ah, hi,
Nice to
Sophia.
have you here, Sophia. Then Rain Girl, isn't this in the same? Oh, it's not the same in any way. What's wrong with these people?
Okay, and what are you talking about there, Rain Girl, please?
I think she was talking about what you were talking about
The-
with the clothing and
the
yeah.
tattoo?
I don't think we had even gotten to the
Oh,
tattoos. I think she's
oh,
just
okay.
talking about the clothing. I'm sure she probably
Yeah.
will add the tattoos now at this point. Sophia, the boxers on the body look a lot cleaner. That's what
Yes.
yeah, especially from my cell phone. Zooming in on my laptop, I still kind of lean towards, yeah, they look a lot cleaner than what they should look like. But Rick says, I think if you cinch up a corset on a human body, I would think you would get that slight wave pattern. That's what I was thinking, Rick, but I've never put one on. I know Eric has a couple times, so maybe he can shed some light on that. But I'm just,
You're a liar.
he may not have put them on, but he's helped take them off.
There you go. Okay, but and that could be very well true. I've never worn one, so I don't know. But
That's not stockings are not corsets. They're
there,
Sorry,
there.
girdles.
girdles. Turtle.
A girdle, a corset. Just make stuff up here.
But it's the missing blood. That's what got me, because you can see that same side, and then because it's
Do you have that? I know. I
So
think you showed me that last night. Do you have that somewhere?
You just
The
looked at it.
corset comparison.
well,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, you're right. I did.
yeah.
Okay.
You know,
Well, I'll come
because,
back to that because
yeah.
there's something else I want to ask you about these bones here. But Sophia says, just an FYI, the other group is no longer, but they did a lot of shady things when it came to this case, including forging document. Yeah, and that's why I really wanted to know about that gun photo, because it's like we were told that we would never get a photo that had the gun in it. I find it really hard to believe that anybody else did, but we were also told we weren't going to get a lot of other documents that you, Sophia, and you, Catherine, and I, that we all got later on too. So the only thing that I know is, for me, that document, the photo of the bodies with the gun is not a verified photo. It's not, I don't know if that is a real photo or not. I don't know what is real in there and what is not real. It does look like it matches up with the one image that we do have. It looks pretty similar, but if that was the case, then the gun should be in that image too. And I don't see the gun in that photo. So the image that that we were not supposed to get, that was in a PDF that the BCA let out of the bag before they realized that and took that out. That image shows David's body. It shows a clear shot of the daughter, and it shows the wife laying on the back. But when you look at that and you compare it to where the wife is in the real image, and you compare it to where the wife is in this image, I don't know.
It doesn't look right, does
doesn't
it?
look this. No, it doesn't. Yeah. It looks like her body got moved for camera placement or something like that.
Well, and we know that those police officers were moving the body before the photographer got there to take the actual photos, because we have their written reports where they state that Rania was on her left side between her mother's legs. Mm-hmm. And then she had the blanket over her head. You couldn't see any of her hands. Nobody knew that she was missing hands and face because they couldn't see it at all. But then when they start taking the photographs, you have Rania on her mom's legs, leaning toward her father. And then they're like, oh, okay, she doesn't have any hands and the dog ate it. No. You already told us that they were covered. One under her body and one covered underneath the blanket. So you can't have it both ways. So there was a lot of manipulation of those bodies. Oh, hi, Bazing. I haven't seen Bazing in a long time.
Yeah, David's was very well. The other is shoddy. As far as the tattoos, like the quality of the tattoos, or
yeah, his was a lot closer. I had to do a lot of comparison and very close, I spent probably, at least 3 or 4 hours just comparing and measuring and making sure everything was lined up, And on his tattoo, the one on the shoulder, I could get it to line up, like I did an overlay of the one at the body in the morgue, and I took that and then I did the overlay on the tattoo on his arm, and I could get it to line up on the left part on the very top, so the little circle, and then the very beginning. But the rest of it, I'm saying some of it was off by this much, and down at the bottom, it's when I did it that way, that's when it really became clear it was not the same tattoo. So
this is kind of where, this is where I was with Rick, where he's saying you have a bloated body after death. I think it would stretch out and distort that tattoo.
If there, again, you can't, the rate of decomposition and where they were, David's body, they say, even when you're looking at the photo, they say that their abdomens were flat. Now, we know that they're not completely flat because we see by that picture in the morgue, but it is not distended to the point where it's going to exaggerate a tattoo. When things expand due to decomposition and those gases start building up in the tissue, it kind of does a whole thing. It doesn't just go bloop here. Okay, this will stretch here and this stays normal. No, that's not how it works. So it kind of goes together, like the arm would start to just completely swell, the whole thing, not just one part of it. So that's how you know this is not due to any kind of a distension issue. And then when you're looking at the tattoo on the abdomen of Kamel, when you see on her real tattoo, when it goes like this and at a sharp angle and very small, and then on the abdomen, it's very long and curved, it's not the same.
Jet says the official case investigation was shoddy from the beginning. Hard to argue with that. Mm-hmm. For sure. Sophia also says not even sure if the Emmy photos are even legit at this point.
Good point. That's good.
Let's see. Rick says I can tell when I zoom in on the lettering on David Tat, it was a rough heel. Like more like a homemade tattoo. Is that what you're saying, Rick? More of a homemade.
Yeah, what does he, because he does tattoos. What does he mean by that? I'd be interested to know.
Zing says, "Isn't that weird with the clothing not being cut off? None of the clothes have cuts. They don't pull the clothes off over the head or pants. They just cut them." But Zing also says, "Isn't that weird with the clothing being cut off? None of the clothes have cuts." Oh, did I just read that one?
Yeah,
Just
yeah, it came up
Sorry.
twice. Yeah.
Okay, it came up twice. All right. I'll blame Bazing. It's your fault.
So can we get you guys on the screen too?
Oh,
Thank you.
yeah. Sorry. And Jet Petty. Yes, I figured that out. I definitely figured that one out. Let's see. Rick says, Kamel's tattoo is hard for me even to figure out. I think that one line that you showed, Catherine, is pretty.
It's evident.
It's
and then
pretty evident. I don't know. I have a hard time arguing with that one.
That, and then again, when you go over it, when you're looking at the other one, it is not the same design. It is completely missing one whole part. It's got it all wrong. So it's like, I don't know. They screwed that one up big time.
How about this one? If the tattoos are stretched, why aren't they faded?
Okay, Rick, you got to help. Help.
They do look kind of faded. I thought they did look a little faded. David's looked faded. I don't know. Kamel's are kind of glossy, like they put something on it or something.
And again, it's the state of decomp. So his skin is sloughing. You know, it could be that could.
Is
be
it where the body is too? Because we're looking at his that are more up here, and hers are more lower. Does that have anything to do with it?
I don't know. I don't know.
It's a good question, though.
Yeah.
I tried to remove it. Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. No, not home. Made you zoom in on David's lettering. You see areas that are light black. That's usually caused by scabbing during healing. Interesting.
Oh, okay. That's good to know.
Very good.
Thanks, Rick.
Hey, Stacy.
Hello, Stacy.
Nice. Hope everything is nice out there in Florida. I think we lost Eric.
Oh no, maybe he'll come back.
Internet, yeah, he says internet is acting up. That's what happens. You get a new microphone and everything.
You got something fancy schmancy.
I did want to ask you about this bone here, this like 7 or L-shaped bone. What is this?
Can you zoom in a little bit?
Let me see. That's probably as much as it's going to let me zoom in there.
Okay, I don't know I don't think that's L-shaped. I think they have one bone on top of the other. The one that's on the bottom is just lying on top of or next to the one on the other one. And those look like they could be finger bones, maybe.
Rib?
They look like digits, maybe.
Yeah. Child's rib bones? No.
No.
There should be a broken rib there somewhere, right? Should be.
Well, her fractured rib was in her body. That's they found it when they did the autopsy. But her arm, but that looks too small. That looks too small to be an arm bone.
Okay.
Unless it could be, I don't know, an ulna or a radius. I don't know. But the other ones for sure are digits. So
like
those
this big one here?
Yeah. That's, you can see where the joint is at the bottom. That would form a joint. So I would assume the others are digits as well.
Interesting. Let's see. And then the socks here too, which threw me off because these are Kamel socks. This is what she's wearing. Yeah. They look like guy socks to me.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they do too. And again, they altered it. They changed the filter on these. So we're not even seeing the true colors. Those people are so stupid. That's all I can say.
This shirt is very interesting too, because this is what David's wife had on when
why was she wearing that?
Found. So if she hated Gray State so much, why would she be wearing that shirt? Shirt. Or no, I think this was David's. David was wearing this
No, that was hers. You're correct. That's hers. That was
the
one.
So she had two. Wait, or is that the back? Oh, that's the back.
That's the back.
Gotcha. Okay. I was gonna say. All right. And these are David's bracelets or whatever you call them.
Yeah.
From what we know. And then there's that there's that corset. So you're saying the blood that we're seeing here.
No, like over
Yeah.
down at the right. Go to the
Mhm.
right of the foot. Yeah, and like where it's bright yellow on the right side, down
Like in
below.
here.
Yeah, like toward the corner. Now
Mhm.
in that area, that bright yellow area, there should be dots of blood. There should be, because on her body, when the court, that's the area that you see on the back, that would have, and it has dots, it has, specks of blood, and it's not on there.
Let me go to that one.
Yeah.
Back to that. Which would be here.
Do you see?
Session.
Right. You see those? You see those 3 dots? Plus
Right
the other
here?
big one down right below this, by that sweater and the shirt. There are 3 dots plus one that's, you see, it's like right above where the couch and then her corset meet. But those 3 dots are not. And then there's a spot. Again, I'm pointing at the screen. Oh, jeez. Yeah. And there are no 3 dots of blood at all on that corset, nor is there the speck of blood that would have been like on from the right, the 1, 2, the third, they're called ribs, those like lines. So the third rib would have a speck of blood, but it doesn't.
And the corset looks really different. Almost like
Yeah.
this one. This one looks pink.
Well, again, I told you, because they messed with the colors on those. They filtered out all of the, yeah. So, but okay. It's missing the blood.
And there's this strappy thingy at the bottom. Where's that? Where would that be? Here on this one.
That's what I can't tell if what we're seeing on the photo with the bodies, if it's part of the white stripe on David's pants, or is it something else? I can't tell.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah,
I think you're right.
I think that's what that is. Yeah.
Actually, that's the carpet.
Is it? Okay.
It looks like the carpet to me, actually. Now that
it could be. But you see how right there on her body, on that corset there, it's very close, where there's just one small, like, little strip of blood on that rib, and then there's 3. And that's what I'm saying. It's like these little tiny things. When you look real close, you'll see the discrepancies, and it's not there. That blood is not there. So like you guys were saying, is that even the same corset? Is it hers? We don't know.
We don't. Let's see. Rain Girl also says, Catherine, this may be an odd question, but if these bodies are not David or his wife, are these real bodies staged to look like the Crowleys? What's your thoughts on that?
That's what I think. And that's, for me, that's kind of why it's a little bit disturbing, because these are bodies. Those are human bodies. But what's disturbing for me is that there's a child involved. So I don't understand. And that's kind of why I flip. It's like, are they in witness protection, and are we screwing things up for them by saying anything? But at this point, I'm pissed, angry. I'm because this is ridiculous. There's so many things wrong with this case. It looks like the most inept. It reminds me of the game, like a dinner party, the murder mystery dinner parties. Mm-hmm. That's what this feels like, but it's horribly done and set up. And what's reversed? What do you mean, Bazing? Maybe it's reversed.
Maybe they're saying the video or the photo maybe is, it's like a mirror. They do the mirror image. Like, let me show you.
Yeah, but there's still no blood on either side. It doesn't match.
Like when I mirror my camera. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that did anything or not.
No. No, okay, I got what he said, but there was, if you look, there's no blood on either side that matched that pattern.
Yeah, the corset. And that corset there, because it should be on the back here, right? It should be somewhere here on the back.
Yes.
You see a little bit there down here, but I don't know.
Well, with we women, our zippers and stuff are on the left side, so I would think that that is not reversed. Our tags are on the left side. Our zippers, I think we zip up, it's on the left side. It's I don't know if you guys know that about women's clothes, but you know, things were on the left for females. So
And of course, it is inside out.
oh, is that what he's saying? I mean, that could be.
That would be more sloppy if that's the case. I mean, look where the zipper is down here.
Well,
I don't know.
yeah.
It's hard to tell.
Let me think. I have to think really close.
Would you put the tag inside or outside, I guess?
Okay, but I don't think this is inside out.
Well,
Wait,
look at where this
yeah,
thing
yeah. I
is.
was just gonna say, let's look at that. Let's get a closer look. Because
It
it could
could
be
be.
then. Yeah. Because that could be it too. So again, this is just, and if that is the case, that's good eye bizzing.
Yeah.
Very good eye. Because now if that's the case, it's like now we know how inept those medical people were. They just didn't even care. They're just throwing stuff and saying, take a picture. Put it
Yeah.
on there, take a picture. Because they knew what they were going to be doing. And they just didn't expect anybody to come in and rip apart what they did.
That's interesting.
Where was
Look,
Kamel's wounds? Where did she bleed the most from? Was it her right side or her left side?
It would have to be where her, well, both of her hands were missing, but the hand that was underneath her that's still pretty high up where that photo is. That's still a lot of blood in this high area here. But if her hands were underneath her, that's what I was thinking. Well, that's why there's so much blood here, right? Bleeding out from the hand, or I don't know. I really don't know. That would be. I think her hand was her left hand, so that wouldn't make sense either.
Because
This would be in the corner.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Look at the strap on the one side. The strap is covered in blood, but this other one over here is not. But yet underneath the arm area, it has a lot of blood, but the other side has some. It's just weird. It's a weird blood pattern.
Yeah, it is. I guess you'd have to line it up with the t-shirts to really see, right? Where was it? More blood on which side of the t-shirt?
On the right side, it looks like.
Yeah, so she's laying down on the right side. But then this would make it more on the on the right side. This would be on the right. If this is inside out, that'd be on the right side. That's interesting.
So weird. It's just so weird.
Yeah. This would all be on the left side though, here.
Yeah, those are her little Ranya's pants, and that's decomp fluid.
I thought this was Kamel.
No, those are Ranya's pants.
Really?
Yes. Ranya's shirt.
Not too sure. Yeah, you're right.
There's
this is Kamel's. Yeah. Okay. So hers are more on the left there. Oh boy. So what do you think? Think they staged their death, or do you think they the bodies were removed from the house earlier? Or I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I mean, the only thing I know for a fact, and that's just based on the conditions, if what they wrote in these parts are even true, because right now it's like, can we trust anything that was said? I know for a fact they died the early part of January, somewhere between January, I don't know, somewhere between the 4th, 5th, or 6th up until right around the 10th is when they died. Whoever these bodies are died. I know this is not, I don't believe it's Kamel. I just don't. I'm really iffy about whether or not it's David. And with Rania, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because there's a lot of decomp going on in the face and stuff. So it's hard. And we don't really get a good enough photo of her. So we don't know. We're going by what they say. And so we know that the male in this scenario died first. We know the females died second. We don't, I think the order of death was David, Rania, Kamel. It could be wrong, but I definitely know for sure, without a doubt, David died first. And so, was it because they're in witness protection and they needed body doubles so people would believe it? I don't know. Maybe. Is it? I don't know. I don't know what to think. Is this a government thing? I mean, is the government? I don't know. I guess they really are inept sometimes. But seriously, to be that inept, do you really think they would be that bad?
Do not know. Yep. I think they had to act quick.
Right, because when the chief was like, we knew right away, knew within 2 hours that it was murder suicide, and we had it all wrapped up. Oh, really? You don't have a bullet that killed him. Their blood is not there. His DNA is missing from his cell phone. His DNA is nowhere in that house. He lived in that house, and everything they swabbed was missing his DNA. I'm like, really?
Well, they have his DNA, right? They have his DNA on a couple things.
Not on the important. What?
Not on the important things.
They have. They had the minute trace DNA that they had to replicate thousands of times off of item number 57. There's no blood on that. There's nothing on that. They had his blood, like I said, on the magazine, which was loaded inside of the gun, and they never explained that. Because there's enough blood on that magazine that it actually enhances fingerprints. They get ridge detail, but they said they weren't going to use that ridge detail because they didn't know if it was a fingerprint left in the blood or if the blood enhanced previously placed ridge detail. So even if it belongs to somebody else, they would toss it out and say, well, no, they could have, like say, I'm not saying Danny did this, but if Danny Mason, they could say, oh, well, he just picked it up one time and loaded the magazine and put it in the gun. So that's why his prints are on there. You know what I'm saying? So they're tossing that out completely. But other than that, I'm trying to think, the knife, they had to swab. There were 2 areas, one on where a screw was and one on a small indented area on the blade. Those were the only 2 areas. And they found all 3 of their DNA on that. But other than that, his DNA is missing. It's not in any of her blood. It's not on the blood written on the wall. It's not on the floor. He has no blood anywhere. Same with Rania. It's missing. But yet they're saying she was shot right there in that house on that floor. And Kamel's is everywhere. Well, not everywhere, that little bit, but yeah, Rania's is missing. And then they're like, oh, the dog might have cleaned it up. Really? The dog can differentiate between, Rania's blood and David's blood, and that's the only thing it's going to lick up when there are no bloody paw prints anywhere? Oh, look at her. Look at her.
Everyone in my family believed 9/11 except years later me. We truly are under a spell. That's the crazy thing about this case, is that it does feel like it is cursed. It's cursed in some way. It's a very dark case and just a very strange case to me, and can really, mess with you. It can mess with you in ways that shouldn't happen and doesn't happen to me in other cases too. There's something very different about this case for sure.
Yeah. So that's why, I just don't know what else we can do. Oh, hi, Geppetto. Rudy's first trailer. Maybe payment was David's theater for training for.
David had help from
There's.
authorities
Yeah.
for his trailer. Maybe
You want to read that
payment
out loud? So
yeah,
people
David had help for authorities for his trailer. Maybe payment was David's theater for training purposes, including new lives. I mean, it's the Buffalo, it's the Minnesota Buffalo Police Department, whatever that is. Those are the ones that are used in the trailer and that are used in, in those video clips that they were filming in 2013. So, and it seemed like David had some issues with the city getting some of the footage from the trailer, doing some things, but a lot of the time he said they would just go out and they would just film it and just do it. So I don't know, but if you look at some of those photos, that the big panoramic photos of all of the police officers involved, everybody that is involved, it's a lot of people that were involved in this 2-minute trailer.
Mm-hmm.
2.5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes there, but there was a lot of people that were involved in this whole thing. And I don't know. I mean, you have to really think. I think you really have to start with, at least in this point, I start with, do you think David is guilty? But I think what Catherine is really trying to get us to start thinking about uh, is David dead? Is that his body? And I think whether we agree with it or not, I think it is a valid question. And I think people have to be open to that and be willing to go wherever the facts take you.
Yeah. And like I've said, ever since I saw those tattoos, and it's like, thank you, Sophia. She's the one, we were doing stuff and it's like, okay, what should we do next? And I don't remember how we came up with it. And she's like, look at the tattoos. And when I started comparing Kamel's, and she found the one of her before she had passed away. And then when I compared the two, I will die on that hill. That is not her body on that floor. It's not the same tattoo. The design is different, and not just that one area, it's different. So I'm like, when I saw that, then I'm like, either in my brain, either this is a government psyop gone wrong and they screwed it up so bad that now they're just saying, hey, shut it down, don't give anybody any more information because they're finding our mistakes. Or it could be Kamel's family took out David and Rania, and Kamel is out there living under an assumed name now. Or they faked their deaths, but where are they going to get a body of a child? So I don't think they did it. You see what I'm saying? It'd be one thing to get a body that might match yours, but to get a child's body, that's a whole different ballgame. I don't think David and Rania, I don't think they had it in them to do something like that. So that just leaves me with either Kamel's family or the government. But I don't know which one. And I don't want to go around accusing, because that's wrong. Because if her family is completely innocent, that's not okay. It's not okay to drag them through the mud.
Right. Yeah, we don't want to do the same thing that they did with David.
No.
Turn around just and do it to somebody else either. Right. I mean, I can't even. There was a great article that I believe that the title of the article was "Is Gray State a PSYOP?" And this was made back in, I think, 2012, when this was made pretty early on. And I can't even find it right now. I know I probably have it. I think I have the PDF version of it somewhere, but it's a fascinating article. And it's a theory that has been out there that David dealt with, that David actually responded to in several cases when people asked him about, is Gray State a PSYOP? How come you haven't made anything? Where is this movie? We've been waiting for this movie since 2012. It's 2014. The pressure was on. And so you have to make this movie at some point, or else you're going to be exposed as a fraud.
Well, and that's actually a really short time frame. I don't think people understand how long it takes to get something produced.
And that's the crazy thing, is that he had something in the works.
Yeah. And
right.
Yeah. I mean, the two Mikes flat out said, "Hey, we had this offer on the table. It was 30 million." And when you look at movies like, I think it was like, and I can't stand that movie anyway, but American Psycho. I think that budget for American Psycho was something like 11 million or 15 million. It was a really small budget movie, and look how much money it made. So when people are like going, "Oh, but it was only 30 million," that was a lot of money for a budget for a guy that's just coming on the scene. And
Yeah,
they
that's big too.
said they had that money for him. They're like, "Oh no, it was in the works. We were going to do this." So no, he was going toward it.
Yeah. Well, it's a fascinating topic. I thought it was so fascinating. I wanted to just kind of bring it up here and talk about it and share it and kind of let it kind of marinate in my brain, at least here, and kind of go from there. I don't know, unless anybody else has anything else they want to add or anything else they want to say. I just wanted to give Catherine a chance to share what she found.
I appreciate it. Thank you. I do.
Absolutely.
And because I mean, I don't want people to think that, we're just tossing out opinions and we're just giving up or whatever, but I have good reason for why I feel this way now and why I don't really, I'm not sure what benefit will arise if we continue. I mean, yeah, we can talk about it and we can keep it out there, but if I believe in my heart of hearts, that's not even her on that floor. I'm like you though. I'm still kind of iffy with being David. I think you make some very valid points about it could still be David, but I know that's not her. So if it's not her, why am I still doing this?
Mm.
Because if the entire police force has shut us out, the city attorney got involved. A freaking city attorney got involved to say, don't send them anything else.
Right.
Okay, that doesn't happen. Name me one case where, and the attorney general, nobody is helping. So we've got everybody saying no more information. When when the FOIA gives us that right to get that information, and now they're shutting us out and down and saying you can't have anything anymore. Why? What are we doing? We're spinning our wheels. And the blacklight report that proves that somebody accessed his computer on January 14th from outside of that home. It was accessed, turned on. Somebody went to that root drive. We know it wasn't anybody in that house because they were already on the floor. So who did it?
Must have been the dog, obviously. It's the only logical answer.
Hi, Mary.
Hey, Mary. Yeah, it's such a frustrating case, and just you pile all these things on top of each other, and then to hear that there are really still people that really think, that David is guilty. Case closed. The dude was crazy. The dude was psycho. For me, that's one of the main reasons for me to keep going. Because whether this was a psyop, whether those are the bodies or those aren't those bodies, and I still tend to believe that they are. And I have no problem being wrong about that either. But whether they are or whether they're not, this whole thing is a tragedy. And if this is a psychological experiment on us, if we are the guinea pigs to see how would we respond to something like this, well, that takes it to a whole new level. And that's not far-fetched either, because they have been doing sociological experiments on us for a long time. And this would just be another one of those. And it would make a lot of sense. It would almost be a happy ending for me to find out that this was a psychological thing and that these people are not dead.
Yeah,
It'd be a
that would
happy
be
ending.
great. Yes.
Yeah, it would be good. It would raise a lot of questions because faking your own death, I don't know what the rules are in Minnesota, but I would think that would be a crime too.
It's not a
it's
crime
not a crime.
unless you collect money or somebody knowingly knowing that you faked your death and then collected an insurance policy or Social Security or anything like that, then it becomes a crime. But you can fake your death all you want to. Nobody, they don't care.
What if you
But
made money off of A Gray State by Eric Nelson or something like that? Would that count? Not that he made any money, apparently, from what he says. But
oh, well, it's because he did such a bad job on that thing. It's like, oh, it was horrible. But I don't know. I think you bring up a good point, because when you think about the so-called situation, hey, Mary again, that we went through a while ago, and I don't want to say the word because we don't want to shut down. But David covered a lot of that. He covered the empty food on the shelves. He covered making people had to have certain things in order to go shopping, or all of those things we went through. He covered in his movie and in his trailer. So I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe they're like, hey, this kid's on to something. Look what he's got. Now we're going to use it to see what happens. Everybody's seen this trailer. Now let's see if they can figure it out. And now let's put them through the ringer.
right,
I mean, because look how many people are still running around with the stupid. Like I said, what bothers me the most are the medical people. We medical people know those masks don't do anything, and yet they're the ones I still see wearing them. But yeah, you have proven their story to be false without any doubt. You've done a great job there, Catherine. Oh, thank you, Geppetto. That's really nice. Thank you. It's with the help of, I'm telling you, with Greg and Sophia. Yeah, I think we've all worked to get where we are.
Yep. Mary, I've thought about that. Greg, so far behind. So please elaborate on that, Mary. Catherine, Greg, nothing odd has happened to you regarding this case, has it? I don't want you to disappear. Not to me. Not to me. I'll let Catherine speak
Don't
for
you
herself.
remember at the very beginning? Didn't you get weird stuff at the beginning?
Yeah, but yeah, I got weird
I
stuff. But I mean,
I haven't
I
had
guess
anything happen since I've moved. But before I moved, there was some weird shit that went on.
yeah.
And I had somebody shoot out my front window with a pellet gun. I had a massive so I had to sell my house. I sold my house and I moved to some little gated old folks community. And that's not a joke. It's what I did because it's gated, and that's why I chose it. Far away. But yeah, I had a big plate window, was like 8400, the main window was 84 inches wide, and then the whole thing was something like 100 and something. So I had this massive picture window in my living room. And then somebody had a pellet gun, and I'm assuming it was a pellet gun because it had double pane glass. Thank God I had double pane glass. And they shot out the big pane window, and it was like a day before a massive snowstorm. So yeah, I couldn't have gotten it fixed before the snows. But anyway, thank goodness it only went through one of the panes. And then I had somebody would come into my house when I wasn't there. Like, say I would have a soda can, like I drank soda back then. I don't now. But say I had it on the end table. I would go out, get shopping done or whatever, and then I'd come back and that soda can would be on the island in the kitchen. So things like this happened all the time. And I'm like, and then I would be followed sometimes, but that could have been for a whole different reason. But since I don't know who was doing it and why, I had enough. But since I've moved here, I've not had any problems. None at all.
Yep. I don't know. I mean, the only weird things that happened to me were just the people that were contacting me. They were contacting me, and so I don't know if that would qualify as weird because they're a bunch of freaking weirdos.
I think
But
so.
that may be one of the only things that I can think of when I talk about like weird things that happen. I had like Sean Wright threatened to come to my house with some ex police officers and threatened me and told me that he like lived near to where I was, which was true because I knew exactly where he was to make sure that I knew where these guys were at all times.
I forgot
But
about Sean.
yeah, the weird things that they would do. So I guess, I mean, they were weird and
Oh,
they did a lot of weird
I
things.
forgot that too, because I had to bring in the police because Sean kept threatening me and calling my house. And then he went and he called the police department where he was, and then was saying I was harassing him. So I had to go and file a complaint, and then my police department had to contact his police department, and then they went and told him, you contact her again and we're going to arrest you. Yeah. So, but again, nothing since I've been here, you know. And then I would be contacted by people who were using encrypted emails all the time. Hey, this is what I know about the case. And one particular person, and I wish if they're still listening, because they would just, they were always incognito, and they would send me email encrypted, and they were the ones who got me to look at the metadata on the photos, if you remember. And they're like, you've got to check the metadata, you know, because I was comparing, you know, because I did photography. So if you remember the time when we were comparing photos, and so the moment I started looking, and then I found out they messed with the metadata and changed the metadata, because this person, I mean, unfortunately, the email that they used, I had just created it for them, and then I forgot my password. And if you forget your password, they delete the entire account. It's completely encrypted. So everything I communicated with them, it's gone. It's completely gone. But they were, you know, I'm giving them credit because they were the ones who did it. They're the ones who got us onto that path to look at metadata. And you know, and again, that tells us that no police officer in any investigation should mess with the metadata on a photo. You don't change that. And they did it all the time on a lot of photos.
I'm still trying to find that article. Is Gray State a PSYOP? I can't believe, I don't have it on this computer, but I know I have it somewhere.
Is it on the Wayback Machine?
You know, it probably is. I don't know how to do the Wayback.
I'll see if I can find it.
I know I purposely put it in a PDF for this, I just don't have it on this computer. But when I search for it, I found it. I found it. Okay. Let me see. Okay. They did 2. Okay, I think I actually was going to include this in the second book here. Let me see if I can share this. Oh, I'm on a different browser. That's why. That's weird. I found it on DuckDuckGo. Couldn't find it on any other searches. Let me move it over here. No, I shouldn't be surprised at that, I guess, right? So let's read a little bit of this, because there were 2 articles, I remember. There was the first one where this guy, I don't know if this is the same one I'm thinking of. It could be. It could be. I actually think, yeah, because he interviewed, I may have put this in the book. I don't remember. But is Gray State a PSYOP? Filmmaker says no. So this was Michael Winter. This was on activistpost.com. I remember that's where the original was. Yeah, the author recently posted an article titled, Is Gray State a PSYOP? And what happened, it's all coming back to me kind of now, is that the first article, which was January 26, 2013, and David actually read this. I remember this because I did have something. Let me see if I can put this in the chat for anyone who wants to go and look at this themselves too. But what happened was David actually read the article, contacted Michael Winter, and changed his mind on it, and changed his mind on the Gray State. So this is a great article. If you have not read this, I would definitely say it's definitely worth reading. There's some other videos out there, and I tried to contact the guy. He claimed to be a Christian and talked about, you know, Gray State was a PSYOP. I tried to get him to come and do something, and he wouldn't even touch it. He didn't even want to touch the topic anymore.
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, it's just like, and that was happening so often back then, where to me it was very, very strange how many people just did not want to even talk about it, and they didn't want to, you know, think about it or anything. They just want, but it's like, okay, but you made the whole freaking video about it. What do you think's going to happen? So it's kind of, there's some people out there, they make a video on a topic. We've seen this. You've seen, they make a video on a topic, they move on, they never want to talk about it ever again. Right. Yep. They want to do crime and they just move on to the next topic, move on to the next topic and keep moving here. And it's just hard with this case because it's one of those cases that just keeps pulling you back in. It just really does.
That's true.
Anyways, but yes, that article, I do remember that there was actually 2 of them and it's really good. And David and Michael Winter actually talk about Is Gray State Aesop, which was a fascinating thing. The most fascinating thing to me is that this was being brought up as early as 2012, 2013 at the very latest. This theory was being floated out there. So I don't know. It's not a new thing, but I think what Catherine has shown us here tonight, and if you have not seen the 20-minute video that she's also put out there, I think that is definitely worth watching. And you can believe whatever you want, but that's it. Any final words?
No, just thank you for letting me have this opportunity to do this because I wouldn't have done it. So thanks.
Yeah, I had to drag you back in here. Well, hopefully it won't be the last time that we see you here, and I will plan on dragging you back in here if I can. If it works, I'll definitely try. I don't know if it'll work, but I will definitely try because there are a few more things that I think are worth talking about, and we'll see where God takes us. That's all that matters. And in the end, well, God bless you, my friend. Thank you again for joining. Thank you everyone who has watched this on such late notice. Just went live, no notice or anything like that, which is going to happen here. Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
So,
all of you wonderful people, and some of you I haven't seen you in forever, and it was good to see you again.
Yep. And we will be back. I have talked with Dan Hinnon, and we are, with my schedule, I told him, I want to finish this podcast, the Gray Stage podcast, and we are looking at possibly December because of the book that I happen to be writing right now about Kennedy and Trump, and then another side book. That's, I got to really focus on that, but I believe that everything should kind of wind down around December. So hopefully the first week, maybe the middle week of December, we can get back to the Gray Stage podcast, finish that up, and then see where we go from there. You never know. All right. God bless you all, and I will see you next time.